Mark Penn joins us now, along with former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Mark, I didn't really actually expect you ever to be on the program. I'm not going to lie. We've been opposing each other in many ways for many years. I give you credit, and it's not because you agree.
True.
We've never had, ever, this happen to an American president. Ever. It's never been this bad. We got FISA lies. We have a deep state. We've got spies in a campaign. This is bad for the country. Explain what you meant.
Well, I think that's exactly right. Look, I spent a year fighting Ken Starr when I thought that was wrong. And a lot of people here at Fox News, yourself included, were gung-ho on that. And I saw how destructive that process was to the presidency, the people around him, and how, in the end, it resulted in nothing. And today I looked at this process, and I'm a skeptical person. At first, it seemed like it was a good process. Maybe it made sense. But as more and more questions came really to the fore, how did this get started? What kind of techniques were used? What was behind the warrant? What kind of techniques did these prosecutors use where they're raiding people and shaming them and threatening relatives? This doesn't seem like an American democracy. It seems like a Star Chamber series of events. And now this thing is opening up after a year and testimony by every one of these former intelligence chiefs. They never said that they were using this kind of intelligence. They've been consistently hiding what they were doing, why they were doing it. Whether I'm a Democrat or Republican, I think more people have to come together and say, enough. We can't continue to criminalize politics. I may not agree with you or President Trump on tons of issues, but I will agree on this. I will agree on this, the way I've seen this unfold.
Here, listen, if we are going to have, and this is no offense to Hillary and the Clintons you work with, if she pays for op research, that's fine. That's part of politics. But a foreign national puts together a dossier and in an interrogatory in Great Britain says, oh, that was raw intelligence, maybe 50-50. And that becomes, to use the Grassley-Graham memo wording, the bulk of information to obtain a FISA warrant, 3 subsequent renewal applications, Mark, and then we've got spies in the campaign. That's not the United States to me. You even mentioned the deep state. You use the term. That, to me, we will lose the country if the tools of intelligence are turned on the American people this way.
Look, I say the deep state appears to me to be in a deep state of desperation. They know this IG report is coming down. They know that Nunes and others have really been successfully getting to the bottom of how this thing started, and they know this is all coming out. And you see these guys, how they're changing their stories from day to day, how they become TV talking heads, which is really just incredible to think that they headed our national intelligence establishment. You know, I think this is going to come down. I think this IG report, I presume, will knock Comey out of the box as a potential witness.
I would expect a criminal referral.
And we're all wrong, you know, it'll change my mind. But that doesn't, you know, it's hard to see how that's not going to come down that way.
And Sean, I would expect in the end here a criminal referral. But there's never, I am calling this the biggest abuse of power, corruption scandal in history. And it really, when you think about it, look at what Watergate was, a break-in. It ended up with the president resigning, a cover-up that ensued. But now we're talking about a sophisticated operation, spying on any campaign, and then, of course, lying to get a FISA warrant, the most difficult warrant to get. You had to lie before a judge time after time and not telling them that this is op research paid for by the other party.
Right, and I think the other thing that's important to note, you talked about it in the package leading up to this, but the stories of both Comey and Clapper in particular have continued to evolve and change as far as what they've originally said happened and what they say happened now. And as more information comes out, whether it's Devin Nunes or Trey Gowdy or others that are digging and getting into more and more of these, what happened, more questions are coming out that need to get answers. The president's right that we need to get to the bottom of this, find out exactly what happened, when it happened, who ordered it to happen, and why it was done. But we continue to have more and more questions come out the more that people dig in. And you look at people like Devin Nunes and Trey Gowdy, Richard Burr in the Senate, the more people ask questions, the more they get attacked. I think there's a lot of people who are very concerned about finding out the truth of what happened last cycle, why it happened, and who ordered it.
I think, Mark, where are your liberal friends? This is interesting, because Alan Dershowitz, and I agree with him on some issues, especially issues involving the Middle East, Israel, our closest ally. Where are those civil libertarians that we that are supposedly in the Democratic Party because their voices have been silent? Is it just because of political differences that they're willing to accept this type of intelligence abuse and abuse of power and spying on other candidates?
Well, look, even organizations like the ACLU that used to be for the First Amendment no matter what have changed their policy because you could raise a lot more money being on one side or the fence or the other. Look, I'm disappointed that more people aren't concerned what's going on here with the FBI. It's not about this president. It is not about this campaign. It's about all campaigns and all presidents, as I said in the piece. We cannot allow the deep state to operate in this manner. We've got to really get to the bottom of what's going on here for sure.
Listen, if you had taken heat just for writing the article, wait till some of your old friends see you on this show. God help you. But thank you for what you're doing. I think it's courageous and it's the right thing to do. This is a real danger to the country. Thank you, sir. Sean, always good to see you.